Hi, my name is Dana Beck. Welcome to my YouTube video. And today, what I'd like to share with you is how to write good meta descriptions focusing on overcoming writer's block. Yes, overcoming writer's block. And when you're trying to write a description that's going to be eye-catching, sometimes you sit down and you're going to write, it's like, what do I write? And your mind draws a blank and you get stuck. So how do you overcome writer's block when you're trying to develop, when you're trying to write a good meta description for your website, for your post, or what have you, okay? Well, and again, the question is, how do you write a compelling, eye-catching meta description that will encourage your reader to click on your title tag, to click on that link, all right? Well, this requires two questions. Number one, and this will help you to come up with some ideas. Number one, what are you offering? What are you offering? And number two, why should I buy from you? And these are two questions that really you need to think about and answer. All right. Now, for product pages, say you're sending people to a page which talks about or promotes a service or a product. The first question is answered on your page, because when they go to the product page, they see what you're offering, and this is where you showcase your product. This is where you showcase your service or your product, the features, and always when you're talking about features, talk in relationship to how it's going to benefit them. Don't focus so much on this is cheaper than any other product out there. It's 10% less. They don't care about that. What's it going to do for me? So focus on the benefits that's going to help them, your reader, your prospect, with their challenge or their issue, their whatever it is they're trying to accomplish. Okay. And and the second question is answered by the simple fact that you or your brand are the one selling the product. Okay. And so on your product page, they see what it is you're promoting, and you talk about it, and again from a perspective of your readers or your prospects' interest or need. And then as you're sharing that, they also see who it is that's promoting this service or product. You see you or your brand. All right. Now, meta descriptions, however, for your homepage require a little more thought and planning. The best thing is to repeatedly emphasize your brand. And it could be your name, could be a logo, whatever, but constantly repeating it and bringing it up. Okay. That's the one thing your whole store, your whole website, etc., is centered around. It's the reason why they should buy from you, because of your brand, because you are unique and you want to stand out and you really want to promote your brand. And really, in the final analysis, you are the brand. But again, it could be a logo, it could be a catchphrase, it could be something along those lines. Now, let readers know what you do or what you have to offer. Tell them about why your service or why your product is unique and different, and convey the information again multiple times. People they hear it once, most of the time they forget it, or they read it once and it's in one ear out the other, so to speak. That's why you need to now you don't want to saturate your message with again, with your brand, with the benefits of your product. You want to pepper it throughout your message. Okay. um, and again, the meta description isn't a place, your description isn't a place for being subtle. You've got to tell them specifically what it is you have to offer and how it's going to benefit them. Struggling to come up with an effective meta description for your homepage, it's common. A lot of people go through this. So it's best to be patient and spend as much time as you need to think about your brand. Especially now, this is especially on a homepage. This is slightly different than a product page. On your homepage, that's like inviting somebody into your house. Okay, your homepage is who you are. That's where you get to showcase your brand and who you are. You're not really on your homepage. You're not really promoting one specific brand. but you're introducing them to your, excuse me, not one specific brand, one specific product. On your homepage, you're promoting your brand, as opposed to a product page. You're promoting usually one service or one product, one aspect of your service. But again, your homepage, is talking about your brand. That's where you get to showcase you and your brand and what you're all about. Now you can publish your meta description by talking to people about your business. Formulate, the description like you would an elevator pitch. More than likely, you will go through a couple, if not many, many drafts. Why? Because it's important to get things right, as this will be the first exposure many customers will have to you and your brand. Your meta description is important. And again, I talked about this in another video. Your meta description will show up when they do a search and the results come up. That first or second sentence in your meta description is what they're going to see. And usually there's like a click more and they can see the rest of it. But those first two lines are what's going to catch that person's eye. That's why your meta description has to be, it's got to be right on. It's got to be exactly what you promote and what you're about. Now, and one way to think of meta descriptions, it's they are your best salespeople. They are, they're your salespeople. And ultimately, the meta description is a promise you make to searchers. Among a sea, among a bunch of competing web pages. It calls them, calls out to them and says, this is what you're looking for. That's why your meta description is so important, because when they see that, you'll see the title of the web page, underneath it, the URL. Then right underneath that URL is the description of what they're going to see when they click on your page. So it's got to call out to them, wow, this is exactly what I'm looking for. You got to, and don't be very, very conscious of what words you use. And again, it might take you, quite a number of, reiterations to get it right. But you've got to get it right. And it's really, really important, because that's the first thing people see. That's the first thing people see when they're doing, a search on a specific terms, whatever. So, when writing your meta description, make sure to remember three key things. All right? And so the first one is your description cannot be more than 155 characters. All right? Now, it's okay to write a meta description that cuts off halfway through the sentence, when your description is more than 155 characters. Just make sure it's what you intended to do and that, you've thought it through. And, those first 155 characters should really stimulate curiosity on the reader. And, and now if you have a longer meta description, more than 155 characters, that's fine. But make sure it's intentional. Make sure you know at what point those 155 characters are going to end. And make sure that section, those 155 characters, again, will stimulate curiosity on the reader. What's the second one? Now, I touched upon this a moment ago. When you're writing your meta description, focus on the customer. And, don't boast about your product or your service, how great it is, how wonderful it is. And I've got, 100,000 people that bought my product. Who cares? What is it going to do for me? What is your product? What is your service going to do for me? That's what you got to focus on. So, the meta description for your product page should focus on how your product or your service will benefit the customer, their lifestyle, help them overcome a challenge or an obstacle. And the homepage description should, sell the way your brand, your specific product or service provides what the customer wants are and what their needs are. So really, your brand, your description should really talk about what it is your customer, your prospect is looking for, what they need. Focus it from, focus on your description from their perspective, from their point of view. And I hate to use this, but it's an old acronym. I'm sure you've heard it, WIFM. What's in it for me? That's what you have to talk about. What's in it for them? And, like I said, 2 questions to consider, like I showed up here on top. Why should I buy from you? Why are you any different than anybody else out there, promoting the same product or promoting the same service? Okay, so that's what you want to focus on. And then the third one, and I touched upon this quite a number of times. Third one is repeat, repeat, and repeat. Now, I did talk about how you want to repeat your brand, and everything goes along with it. You want to repeat that numerous times, but also you want to repeat again and again. Keep reminding the customer why your product, why your service will meet their need, will help them overcome an obstacle, will help supply a need that they have, whatever the case might be. So you want to just keep reiterating your message of how your product or your service is going to benefit them. Not so much you, how is it going to benefit them? That is a key element. So these are 3 things that you should talk about in your meta description. Now, if you're not sure or you're still not clear what is a meta description, I've got a YouTube video. There'll be a link for what is a meta description down below this video, so you can see and learn a little bit more about what a meta description is. But basically, again, what a meta description is, it's nothing complicated. Again, when you do a word search or topic search, whatever, and you'll see all these different hits of all these different websites. At the very, very top, it has the title of the web page. Directly underneath the web page, it'll have the URL of the web page, and then directly underneath that third line, if you please, is a description of what you'll find when you go to that web page. It's a very quick, and you've only got, again, 155 characters. You've only got 155 characters to capture their attention and succinctly tell them what they're going to see when they go to when they click on that link and go to your page. All right, and so, and again, that's what a meta description is. And using these 3 points, your description can't be more than 155 characters, at least the part that they're going to see and read. Focus on the customer's needs. Number 3, repeat, repeat, repeat. Throughout your description, keep bringing up, your brand. Keep bringing up, how it's going to benefit them. And so that's a little bit, that's a little bit on how to write good meta descriptions, overcoming writer's block. And again, if you're not sure what to write, go ahead and watch this video again. But again, one easy way to overcome writer's block: number 1, what are you offering? Number 2, why should I buy from you? Think about the qualities of your service or product from the perspective of how it's going to benefit that reader, that prospect, that person that is looking at your website. Okay, so hopefully you got value out of this, and if you did, please leave a comment. I would very, very much appreciate it, and I do respond to all my comments. And if you like this video, please go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you'll see a button kind of like this down below, right down here somewhere. Go ahead and click on the subscribe button. I would very much appreciate it. And if you'd like to learn more strategies, more insight on how you can, really build your online business and take it to the next level, well, here is a link I'd like to share with you. Now, this will be a hyperlink below the video. Go ahead and check it out. It is not an MLM. It is not an income opportunity, but it is a training hub, a training center that will provide all the tools, all the strategies, all the insight you need to really grow your business and be very, very successful online, and to be the absolute best entrepreneur you possibly can be. So thank you very, very much for watching my YouTube video. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. But in the meantime, you take care now. And again, I look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.